Hello Reshaper, hope you're doing fantastic today. In today's very stream, I want to share with you UPW part 36. And the theme of today is the self-sabotage trap. And before we want to moving on, I want to share with you, for some people are curious why I'm actually in these days a little bit kind of not that active maybe with posting and so on. I can show you. I can show you really quick. I have a baby here. I cannot show people on YouTube. You have people on YouTube. You have watched my Facebook or my Instagram. This is my thing. I built it together. You might already know. And this thing that is this big thing, this black thing, which is GeForce RTX. That is my graphics card, which is new, and I got it, and it's really cool. I just wanna swap. Okay, I'm back. So what I want to show it you, well, I have configured it. I have built it in configure it and put some. It's from Asus. It's an Rockstrix RTX 3070. Really powerful thing, but not the most powerful one, because I don't want it to have so much of a big electricity bill. If you go for the 3080 or 3090, it's good, it's better for sure, but you have now you have like 8 pins to for power supply. Back then you had like 8 and like pins for power supply, but now you have this one has 8, but the newest one is like the 3080 or 3090 RTX 3090 3080. They have like 12 pins. They have like an adapter for the 12 pins and a whole graphics card, so it has far more power supply, so electricity bill will look like not so good. And I have also downloaded some software in order to because this is one, an OC version is already overclocked, and I want to make it a little bit downclocked so it doesn't consume too much of energy and consume not too much of energy. So yeah, that's actually what I'm doing, what's fun for me, and I'm doing it. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump in to the thing. What is sabotaging yourself? Well, we used to sabotage ourselves because, first of all, it is a lack of cognitive understanding, the individual perception, as well as general basics of psychology, of our own psychology, of people's psychology, okay? We are not understanding. It's not really taught at school. Maybe it's taught sometimes in studies, if you study psychology, and it is taught, but not for people who are at school. And this is one of those biggest issues that I believe, because psychology has to be taught at school. Psychology is one of those pillars that bring you success or bring you broke. If you want to be broke, then this is actually what school is don't teaching you success. School is teaching you currently how to be broke, but not how to be successful. Especially to rules like if you do some mistakes, right? You will be punished at school, but in life, if you do some mistakes, you just move on. And these mistakes bring you some cognitive resources, like time for watching what went wrong, to analyze the situation and so on. You don't actually learn it at school at all. So this is one of those issues. Another issue is like dabbling. People are trying, like, you try to start something off and you just dabble, don't do it, or you are doing it and just doing halfway-ass and just not finishing it at all. What is sometimes for me, I am start off many things, but finishing is not always good for me, so I have to discipline myself in finishing things. Okay, I'm good at starting, but I'm not so good in finishing. Same is good for running also. I'm really good. I'm good at sprinting. Like, I sprint really fast, but when it comes to marathon, no, I cannot run that much. My lungs get exhausted really quick because I'm not used to it. This is also the way I'm studying many projects. So yeah, here is the thing, people sometimes when they start to dabble, some dabble even for a freaking lifetime. So remember, one thing you have to remember, if you don't doing it, you don't knowing. Don't doing is not knowing. Just write it somewhere down. Just don't doing equals not knowing. Okay? Not doing, not knowing. Pretty easy, right? And why it is so? Well, you might know something like a little bit, but this is actually one of the biggest problems right now in Japan. What some of the philosophers said, like today I have watched one, like currently Russian TV. I don't watch much Russian TV sometimes when it's really good stuff there. And there's one like documentary about Japan, and there's one Japanese philosopher who tells that Japanese has actually lost a sense of being going to depths, and they are doing like the West. They try to go everywhere, but it leads nowhere. It's exactly what currently happened in Japan. Japan has to go more into depth into one thing, focus on the details rather than going into everything and nowhere. And going to the core character, which has been lost in the last 40-ish years in Japan, especially in the last 20 years for sure. So, therefore, also one thing that Bruce Lee has said back in the days, you don't have. I'm not afraid of someone who has practiced like 500, like 10k kicks, different 10k different kicks in martial arts, but I'm afraid with someone who has practiced one kick 10k times. Do you see the difference? I mean, for example, a punch, okay, if you do just this punch once, then you do this punch, then do this punch, and this, and this, and this, and I don't know. I mean, I did some taekwondo back in the days, but if you do like this kind of things, like this kind of punches or this kind of, movements, this martial art movements, if you do just once, you don't learn it at all, but if you go more, then you can do it more like frequently, you can do it more consistently, right? Like, and this is actually what happened. Mastery, it happens when you do 10,000 times of something, then you get to mastery. And this is what some people just don't do. So remember, really easy rule, repetition in the mother of skill. It's the mother of skill. Nobody is born with skills, but if you repeat something over and over again, it becomes your skill. Okay. Now, if you want to go into depths into your own psychology and psychology of other people, why people are doing those things, or if you don't want to be worried about many things, or some people are acting aggressive with someone is telling to them, talking to them, or telling certain words. People overreact, or even some of them even blow up and try to beat you up, which is understandable. I mean, back in this was understandable, but normally there's no reason to those kind of overreaction. And one thing I will really recommend you to learn and go really into the depths, not just to learn, but really go into the depths, is NLP. And I know some people would say like NLP is bullshit, NLP is not good, it is just a waste of time, it is just people are just talking about, but this doesn't bring you anywhere. Those people who are talking about those things, they don't mastering NLP. They're just like on the surface, they said, okay, NLP looks this, you have just to switch the words and make some movements, everything will be good. No, NLP is much more than this, and if you go more into depth, you will understand it, and it will also benefit you. And especially when you go and combine NLP with LOA, you can even manifest some fortune into your life, which is not a focus pocus, which everyone is actually capable. NLP, neural linguistics programming, just go for it. Some courses are even for free. You can just get them. Some courses you can get even for $10 and something like that right now. And you get even a freaking certificate. Just do it for you. It will help you to understand the psychology of people and psychology of yourself and when people react, how they react. And you will also understand the environment and the world even better because of NLP. Okay, another thing is when you use NLP, you become more conscious of all those things and become conscious of this technique. You get some techniques, for example, for pattern interrupt. What a pattern interrupt are? Well, techniques that you use you change your physiology in different ways in order to interrupt a pattern. For what means pattern? Some of these things that are not beneficial for you, especially those habits that you have that are not beneficial for you. If you have some of those right now, you have some habits that are beneficial for you. For example, easiest way, of course, is smoking and stuff like that. But maybe even boring in the nose and something like that might be also not beneficial habit for you. How to overcome it? You do something else. You do another movement and so forth. But those movements you have the techniques are listed if you go in depth into NLP, and some that might be all the reference from you to make your own technique, your own NLP technique of this all techniques that you already know. You can develop it. Still, there's still some space over. Even NLP is more than 40 years old. And what you can do also with NLP, you can change the physiology. For example, I've also told you when you just do the like Superman face, you just stand there and put your grin in the face. I know it looks strange, but if you put it here in a smile for 2 minutes, endorphins come and you feel better. Same goes for, I just seen yesterday, one guy has shown on TikTok one technique, what's also kind of NLP based, of how to become more confident really easily. You just stretch your hands, ball a fist, and just put your fist, just hold it as strong as you can, just push it as strong as you can, a fist together, and then release and put your hands up and put a smile on your face and stand there for a minute or so, and then you can feel more confident. Because you get the endorphins, it's through the endorphins you get actually the confidence. It's like 1 minute exercise. It's even easier than this standing exercise and just laughing exercise, waiting for the good. And there are many of them. And you might develop even your own of this, just having those references, because many people do, and they sell those. Now, one thing that I want to emphasize is knowledge is not enough, as you might know already. I've already taught it in the previous, just before I talk about NLP, and let's make you moving. How we can do it? Well, first, I want you to, when you just pick up what I'm telling you, when you feel like, hey, it's really beneficial, it might be beneficial for someone else, when you feel like so, go and share. I mean, you can share this video with someone, it's okay, but what will be more efficient for you if you go to someone and tell those things, those insights that you got from this video, for example, or from any other video, or from any other book. Why it makes. And you have to do at least 2 people, at least tell it to 2 people separately. The key is separately, because if you have like a group, you say, okay, I have told it to 10 people. Really? Yes, in a group of 10 people. Okay, you just tell no one, because what you have to do, you have to tell it to someone, just one person, no more, just to one person, and separately to 2 person, to 2 person in total, but 1 person at a time and separately. Why? Because you can concentrate in just this one person. The problem on teaching is teachers cannot concentrate, give the whole 100% attention of all the students. They cannot do it. And however, if you teach someone individually, you concentrate your whole thing. You can do your best, but you cannot perform the best if you teach this to anyone, okay? But one, you can perform the highest, okay? So what you can do, basically, you just pick up like the information, you can write them down, for example, or not, and just tell it to someone. If I have just picked up the information, I think it's beneficial for you. Do you want to listen about it? Okay, and then you just tell it. It might be this information, what I'm telling you right now, or just told you right now, or someone else's information you pick up from book or from other videos, podcasts, and so forth. Just do it from now on. Every time you pick up information, you do tell this information to someone, because when you pick up information, feel there's beneficial, this benefit for someone of this information, just tell this human being of this information. Just teach him. And the thing is, why 2 people? This is now the key. In the first performance, you might fail. I mean, you might not fail, you might learn, because there's not like a fail, you just learn. And how you learn? Well, you do the first performance, you feel a bit more, it doesn't feel good if you teach with someone. Maybe it feels a little bit tingliness, you feel a little bit uncertain, and this is okay. And some of information might get lost that you don't. And the thing is, doing the process of teaching someone what you have just learned, what will help you is you will feel like, okay, I don't understand this. I didn't understand this completely. So yeah, I have to do it the next time better. You write it somewhere down, like those things, or you remember those things, but it's better to write it down. Those things that you don't understand of this one thing. So you have to look it up once again, learn it better, and then teach it to the second person. And the second person, you will perform even better than before. You have already grown curve. And the good thing is, if you teach someone actively what you have learned, you are already doing a part of executing of this knowledge that you have just learned, which is a really beneficial thing for you. And I will just say to you, the easiest way to learn something, teach someone what you have just learned. Teach at least 2 person. I mean, 3 or 5, even better. If you're really badass, go for 10 people, but I don't want you to oversaturate with those things. Just do it as you can, okay? Minimum 2 people, because then you will find that you are performing the second time better than the first time. And of course, if it's 3 person, that might be even better than the second time, and you are really perfect, okay? So just do it, and tell me in the comments box down below what's one of the things I picked up so far. There's already one thing you can do. Show me what you have learned right now. And as always, I hope you got some value from it. Comment comments box, let me know some other thing I picked up so far. I want to make a message shout out people who just tune in, people on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Really appreciate it. Have an awesome day as always. And also to people who will watch it afterwards. Also kudos to you guys. And as always, do not let yourself surpass you now. See you tomorrow.